Child of the Prophecy. The Child of the Prophecy in Naruto is a title linked to the prophecy of the Great Toad Sage Gamamaru from Mount Myōboku. This prophecy spoke of a child who would bring great change to the ninja world, having the potential to either lead it to peace or completely destroy it. The Great Toad Sage stated that this child would be one of Jiraiya's students. Jiraiya dedicated his life to searching for and training the Child of the Prophecy. At first, he believed that Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage, was the one mentioned in the prophecy. Later, he shifted his belief to Nagato from the hidden rain village after seeing that he possessed the Rinnegan. In the end, Jiraiya realized that the true Child of the Prophecy was Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto changed the hearts of many people, including dangerous enemies like Nagato, and ultimately brought peace to the ninja world by breaking the cycle of hatred. His ability to understand and change others, along with his unbreakable will, proved that he was the one spoken of in the ancient prophecy. The Yellow Flash. The nickname Yellow Flash is closely associated with Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village. This name comes from his unique technique, Hiraishin no Jutsu, Flying Thunder God technique, which allows him to teleport instantly to any location marked with his special seals. When using this technique, Minato moves so fast that he leaves behind only a streak of yellow light, making it impossible for his opponents to react in time. This nickname not only highlights his incredible speed, but also reflects Minato's overwhelming power. During the Third Great Ninja War, just hearing the name Yellow Flash was enough for Stone Village Ninja to receive an immediate retreat order. Minato was capable of fighting hundreds of enemies alone, moving like a flash between his seals and defeating them in an instant. One of the most remarkable feats of the Yellow Flash was his battle against Obito during the Nine-Tails attack on the Hidden Leaf Village. In this fight, Minato proved exactly why he deserved this title. Within seconds, he countered Obito's jutsu, freed the Nine-Tails from his control, and even managed to save the village from a tailed beast bomb. His speed and reflexes were so fast that even Obito, despite having the Sharingan and Kamui, couldn't keep up with Minato's movements. White Fang of the Leaf. The White Fang of the Leaf was the nickname of Sakumo Hatake, the father of Kakashi Hatake. He was one of Konoha's legendary ninja, feared and respected by both friends and enemies for his incredible strength and combat skills. This nickname came from the white sword that Sakumo wielded in battle. When he swung his blade, it left behind streaks of white light, resembling sharp fangs tearing through his opponents. Along with his exceptional swordsmanship, Sakumo possessed incredible speed, strength, and strategic intelligence, making him powerful enough to rival the legendary Sanin. His presence on the battlefield was so formidable that even other villages were wary of him. Despite his power and reputation, Sakumo was not a ruthless shinobi. During an important mission, he made the decision to abandon the objective in order to save his comrades, which ultimately led to a great loss for the Hidden Leaf. Instead of being praised for his compassion, he was shunned and ridiculed by his own village and fellow ninja, who saw him as a disgrace. The rejection and pressure became too much for him to bear, and in the end, he took his own life, leaving a deep emotional scar on Kakashi. The story of the White Fang of the Leaf is a tragic one, filled with regret, but it also carries an important lesson about the values of camaraderie and a ninja's honor. Later, Kakashi realized that his father's decision was not wrong, and he chose to follow the same path, never abandoning his comrades no matter what. Kakashi the Copy Ninja. Kakashi the Copy Ninja was the famous nickname of Hatake Kakashi, the sixth Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village. This name came from his ability to copy thousands of jutsu using the Sharingan, an eye he received from his late best friend, Obito Uchiha. A genius from a young age, Kakashi became a jonin at an early age, but it was his unique visual prowess that made him a legendary ninja. With the Sharingan, he could observe, analyze, and instantly replicate an opponent's jutsu after seeing it just once. Because of this, he mastered over 1,000 techniques, ranging from elemental jutsu to genjutsu and taijutsu. The name Copy Ninja struck fear into his enemies since no one could predict what technique he would use next. In battle, Kakashi was not just a master of imitation, but also a creator of his own jutsu. His most iconic technique was Raikiri, lightning cutter, also known as Chidori, a high-speed, high-damage attack capable of taking down enemies in a single strike. He could also use genjutsu with his Sharingan, and later awakened the Mangekyou Sharingan, granting him the ability to use Kamui, a space-time jutsu that could teleport objects to another dimension. Demon of the Hidden Mist. The Demon of the Hidden Mist was the nickname of Zabuza Momochi, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Mist, and a notorious assassin from Kirigakure. This title not only reflected Zabuza's incredible strength, but also his ruthless nature and terrifying fighting style. The origin of this nickname came from Zabuza's bloody past. Before he even became a true ninja, he left behind a horrifying mark by single-handedly slaughtering every student in Kirigakure's graduation exam. At that time, the village followed a brutal ritual where students had to kill their own classmates to graduate. Zabuza went beyond expectations by massacring all 100 students. His reputation as the demon became even more fitting as he grew stronger and joined the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Mist, wielding the massive blade Kubikiribocho, a sword that could regenerate by absorbing iron from the blood of its victims. He was a master of the silent killing technique, which allowed him to eliminate enemies without making a sound or leaving a trace. During his battle with Kakashi, Zabuza demonstrated this skill perfectly by using mist to blind his opponents and striking with lightning speed. Ghost of the Uchiha. The Ghost of the Uchiha was the nickname of Madara Uchiha, one of the strongest ninja in history and a legendary figure of the Uchiha clan. This name not only represented his terrifying power, but also reflected the mystery surrounding him and his lasting influence on the shinobi world. This nickname had 2 layers of meaning. First, it came from the fact that Madara was believed to have died after his legendary battle against Hashirama Senju at the Valley of the End. However, years later, he reappeared like a ghost from the past, orchestrating the Moon Eye plan and becoming a major threat to the entire ninja world. No one could believe that a man who had been dead for so long could return, stronger than ever. This made the title Ghost of the Uchiha incredibly fitting. During the 4th Great Ninja War, after being revived with Edo Tensei, he single-handedly wiped out thousands of shinobi, using his Sharingan, Rinnegan, and Perfect Susanoo to crush the allied shinobi forces. He even defeated all 5 Kage with ease, leaving them powerless against his overwhelming strength. These feats made Madara seem like an unstoppable ghost, a legend that no one could stand against. Although he was ultimately betrayed by Black Zetsu and defeated, the name Ghost of the Uchiha remains a symbol of a great warrior who made the entire shinobi world tremble in fear. Madara was not just an incredibly powerful antagonist, but also an unforgettable icon of the Uchiha clan. God of Shinobi. The God of Shinobi was the title given to Hashirama Senju, the first Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village. This was not just a nickname that symbolized his unmatched strength, but also a recognition of his legendary status in ninja history. This title came from the fact that Hashirama possessed power far beyond any shinobi of his time, even surpassing Uchiha Madara, his greatest rival. As the only person to wield the wood-release Kekkei Genkai, Hashirama could use Mokuton to create massive structures like the Hidden Leaf Village and subdue tailed beasts without the need for complex sealing techniques. He also had the rare ability to heal himself without forming hand seals, a skill that even the most powerful medical ninja could not achieve. Hashirama was not only powerful, but also a great leader. Alongside Madara, he founded the Hidden Leaf Village, laying the foundation for the ninja village system that followed. His ideals of peace, camaraderie, and responsibility influenced many generations of shinobi, including Naruto Uzumaki. Because of both his overwhelming strength and his visionary leadership, he was honored as the god of shinobi. The Pervy Sage. The Pervy Sage, Sanin, was a funny yet extremely familiar nickname that Naruto gave to Jiraiya, one of the legendary sanin of the Hidden Leaf Village. Despite being a powerful ninja, a sealing master, and Naruto's great mentor, Jiraiya was also famous for his love of researching women, especially his habit of peeping into public bathhouses. This was the reason behind his nickname. Jiraiya never tried to hide his perverted nature. He was often caught gathering material for his Icha Icha Makeout novel series, which he wrote himself. Even though Tsunade and others constantly scolded him, he never changed his ways and was even proud of his book's success. Naruto, who couldn't stand Jiraiya's antics, gave him the nickname Senin, and it quickly became a name that stuck with him throughout most of the series. However, behind his pervy persona was a truly great warrior. As a student of the third Hokage and the mentor of both Minato and Naruto, Jiraiya had a huge impact on the next generation. He was not only skilled in ninjutsu, but also highly intelligent, being the one who uncovered the secrets of the Akatsuki and discovered Pain's weakness. In the end, despite his humorous nickname, Jiraiya remained a resilient shinobi who fought until his last breath for the peace of the world. The nickname, the Pervy Sage, might make people laugh, but when thinking of Jiraiya, what truly stays in everyone's heart is not just his humor, but also his unyielding spirit and the noble heart of a legendary ninja. The Noble Green Beast. The Noble Green Beast was the nickname given to Might Guy, one of the strongest taijutsu users in Konoha's history. This title not only represented his explosive power, but also emphasized his indomitable spirit, unwavering loyalty, and strong sense of justice. Guy was called the Green Beast because of his signature tight green jumpsuit, spiky bowl-cut hair, and endlessly energetic personality. However, unlike the word beast, the term noble in his nickname reflected his true nature. A man who fought for noble ideals, protected his comrades, and never backed down in the face of adversity. Despite lacking ninjutsu or any special bloodline abilities, Guy was a master of hand-to-hand combat, taijutsu. His skills were unmatched, and he wielded the 8 Gates technique, which allowed him to unlock his body's full potential for a short time. When opening the 8th gate, the Gate of Death, Guy could unleash the Evening Elephant and Night Guy, attacks so powerful that even Madara Uchiha, in his 6 Paths form, acknowledged him, saying, "You are the strongest taijutsu user I have ever faced." Shisui of the Body Flicker. Shisui of the Body Flicker was the nickname of Shisui Uchiha, one of the greatest prodigies of the Uchiha clan. This name came from his mastery of the body flicker technique, Shunshin no Jutsu, which he performed at such an advanced level that he seemed to disappear right before his opponent's eyes. His incredible speed left behind afterimages that looked like clones, making it nearly impossible for anyone to keep up with him. Shisui was not only fast, but also possessed one of the most powerful pairs of Mangekyou Sharingan. His ultimate ability, Koto Amatsukami, was a genjutsu so powerful that it could manipulate a person's mind without them even realizing it. Because of this, Shisui was seen as a key figure in maintaining peace between the Uchiha clan and the Hidden Leaf Village. However, his plans were shattered when Danzo stole one of his eyes, forcing Shisui to place his trust in Itachi and entrust him with his remaining eye before taking his own life to protect the village. Sasori of the Red Sand. Sasori of the Red Sand was the nickname of Sasori, a ninja from the Hidden Sand Village and a master of puppet art, Kugutsu. This name not only reflected his terrifying combat abilities, but also carried a deadly meaning tied to his past. The title, Red Sand, came from the bloody battles Sasori had fought in. In the past, He used his deadly puppets to slaughter enemies, staining the white sand red with their blood. After losing faith in human emotions, Sasori abandoned his village, joined the Akatsuki, and took his puppet artistry to another level by turning real people into human puppets. Sasori was not only skilled in controlling puppets, but also in creating powerful ones from former shinobi. During his battle against Sakura and Chiyo, he used the puppet of the third Kazekage, one of the strongest kage in the history of the hidden sand. Beyond that, he transformed his own body into an immortal puppet, preventing himself from aging and making him immune to most conventional attacks. However, beneath the cold and ruthless exterior of Sasori of the Red Sand, there was still a trace of emotion hidden deep inside. In his final moments, he chose to let himself be defeated rather than avoiding the attack, as if a part of him still wished to end his life as a human rather than as a soulless puppet. God's Angel. God's Angel was the nickname given to Konan, the only female member among the 3 founders of Akatsuki. This name came from her special connection with Pain, Nagato, who was worshipped as a god within the organization. With her unique combat abilities and absolute loyalty to Nagato, Konan was seen as the angel standing beside Akatsuki's deity. Konan's signature ability was Jibaku Shikigami no Jutsu, paper explosion technique, which allowed her to transform her body into thousands of paper pieces and control them at will. This technique gave her the ability to evade attacks, move swiftly, and use paper as sharp weapons or explosives. When she hovered in the air with her paper wings, she truly resembled an angel, an image that led the people of Mangekyou to believe she was the divine messenger of pain. However, Konan was not just an ordinary angel. After Nagato's death, she abandoned her faith in Akatsuki and vowed to protect Yahiko's dream and shield the hidden rain village from the remnants of war. In her battle against Obito, she displayed her true strength by unleashing the paper ocean, Kami no Shisha no Jutsu, creating a massive sea of 600 billion explosive tags, an attack powerful enough to force Obito to use Izanagi just to survive. The Professor. The Professor was the nickname given to Hiruzen Sarutobi, the 3rd Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village. This name came from his vast intelligence, deep knowledge, and ability to use nearly every jutsu that existed in Konoha. As a student of the 2nd Hokage, Tobirama Senju, Hiruzen inherited a wealth of knowledge and expertise. Hiruzen was considered the most versatile shinobi in Konoha's history. He not only mastered all 5 chakra natures, fire, water, lightning, earth, and wind, but could also perform high-level jutsu, including powerful summoning techniques. Because he had studied and mastered nearly every jutsu in Konoha, he earned the title the Professor, as if every technique in the village had been researched and perfected by him. Even in old age, Hiruzen still possessed incredible strength. During his battle with Orochimaru, he demonstrated his exceptional skills by fighting alone against both the 1st and 2nd Hokage, who had been revived through Edo Tensei. Though aware that his body was no longer at its peak, Hiruzen fought until the very end, even sacrificing himself to seal Orochimaru's soul using the Reaper Death Seal. The Eternal Genin. The Eternal Genin was the nickname given to Might Dai, the father of Might Guy and one of the most underestimated ninja in Konoha. This name came from the fact that Dai spent his entire life as a genin, the lowest rank of a shinobi, without ever being promoted to chunin or jonin. Although many saw him as weak and often mocked him, this title did not truly reflect his real abilities. Might Dai was not skilled in ninjutsu or genjutsu, but he dedicated over 20 years to perfecting taijutsu. Through extraordinary hard work, he mastered the 8 inner gates, a highly dangerous technique that allowed a person to unlock their full physical potential, granting them power beyond even the Kage. However, because this technique severely damaged the body and could even lead to death, very few could use it as skillfully as Dai. The moment that proved Might Dai was not the weak genin people thought he was came when he faced the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist, legendary warriors from Kirigakure. When his son and his team were being hunted, Dai opened the 8th gate, the Gate of Death, sacrificing his own life to defeat most of the 7 swordsmen and save Guy, leaving behind a legacy of unwavering determination for his son. The nickname, the Eternal Genin, might sound like an insult, but in reality, it became a symbol of Might Dai's unbreakable will. He proved that a shinobi's worth is not defined by rank, but by perseverance, hard work, and the courage to never give up. Tailless Tailed Beast. Tailless Tailed Beast was the nickname given to Kisame Hoshigaki, one of the strongest members of Akatsuki and a former ninja of the Hidden Mist village. This name came from Kisame's immense power. His chakra reserves were so vast that they were compared to those of a tailed beast, even though he never had one inside him. As one of the legendary swordsmen of the Hidden Mist, Kisame wielded Samahada, a unique sword that could absorb chakra from opponents and transfer it to its wielder. With Samahada, Kisame could fight continuously without worrying about running out of energy, allowing him to overwhelm his enemies with relentless and brutal attacks. Kisame's terrifying strength was further demonstrated through his mastery of water release, Sutan. He could create a massive water prison, flooding a large area and fighting as if he were in the ocean, making escape impossible for his opponents. In his battle against Killer Bee, he even fused with Samahada, transforming into a shark-like form that enhanced his speed and power to the highest level. Despite his ruthlessness, Kisame remained fiercely loyal to Akatsuki, especially to Itachi. When cornered, he showed no fear and chose to take his own life by summoning a swarm of sharks to devour him, ensuring that the organization's secrets would never be revealed. Kisame's death was not a result of defeat, but a choice, one that displayed his unwavering resolve until the very end. Obito Toby. Obito's title, Toby, has a layered origin that ties back to an unexpected source rather than a simple variation of his own name. The name originally belonged to a mutated being, one of the earliest victims of Kaguya Otsutsuki's infinite Tsukuyomi, who was sealed within the demonic statue of the Outer Path. This entity was later freed by Madara Uchiha and taken on as a servant. Obito, after surviving his near-death experience under the boulder, encountered this being and nicknamed it Guru Guru, an onomatopoeia meaning going around in circles, inspired by its swirling spiral-patterned form. Eventually, this Toby, now called Guru Guru, attached itself to Obito's broken body, acting as a protective shell and guide under Madara's influence, granting him access to Hashirama's cells. The spiral face of Guru Guru inspired the iconic mask Obito later wore, and he adopted Toby as his new alias, repurposing the name for his deceptive persona within the Akatsuki. Toby reflects Obito's transformation from a lost, idealistic ninja into a masked manipulator operating in the shadows. As Toby, he presents himself as a carefree, bumbling figure within the Akatsuki, hiding his true power and motives. Ten Tails Jinchuriki. Obito's title, Ten Tails Jinchuriki, marks his ultimate transformation during the Fourth Great Ninja War when he becomes the host of the Ten Tails, the primordial chakra beast. This title originates from his success in reviving the creature by collecting the tailed beasts, a plan he pursued after seizing control of Madara's Eye of the Moon scheme. With the aid of Black Zetsu and the Gedo statue, Obito seals the Ten Tails into himself, amplifying his power to godlike levels. His first act as its Jinchuriki, unleashing devastating attacks like the truth-seeking orbs against the allied shinobi forces, solidifies this title as a testament to his dominance on the battlefield. Ten Tails Jinchuriki represents the peak of Obito's power and his descent into a near-divine yet hollow existence. As the host of the Ten Tails, he transcends human limits, wielding chakra and destructive force on a scale that rivals the Sage of the Six Paths. This title casts him as both a terrifying adversary and a tragic figure, embodying the ultimate fusion of strength and despair in the ninja world. Pain God. Pain earned the title God from the Rain Village's people and adopted it himself, reflecting his unmatched power and guardianship over the village. After Yahiko's death, Nagato used his Rinnegan to defeat Hanzo, the Rain Village's former tyrant, and establish peace. With techniques like Shinra Tensei and Chibaku Tensei, Pain displayed abilities that seemed beyond mortal limits, akin to an unstoppable force of nature. To the villagers, long plagued by fear, he became a divine protector, a savior who shielded them from chaos. For instance, when Pain leveled the Leaf Village with a single Shinra Tensei, he proclaimed to Naruto that he was a god tasked with enforcing peace through destruction and renewal. The title God embodies the reverence of the Rain Village's people and Pain's own view of his purpose. It signifies his absolute dominion in both physical and spiritual. It also reveals his estrangement from humanity. Pain sees himself as a transcendent being, above ordinary mortals, driven to end conflict at any cost, even if it means severing ties with those he once held dear, like Konan and Yahiko. The Six Paths of Pain. The title, Sage of the Six Paths, reflects Pain's mastery of the Six Paths technique, enabled by his Rinnegan. Pain commands 6 distinct bodies, each embodying a unique path: Diva Path, Human Path, Naraka Path, Animal Path, Preta Path, and Asura Path. This mirrors the abilities of Hagoromo Otsutsuki, the legendary sage of the Six Paths, who founded ninjutsu and wielded the Rinnegan as the ancestor of figures like Naruto and Sasuke. Pain's use of this power linked him to this mythic icon, earning him the title among allies and foes alike. For example, when Pain unveiled the Six Paths against Jiraiya, his former mentor was stunned, recognizing that Nagato had transcended the skills he once taught him. Sage of the Six Paths signifies Pain's unparalleled strength and his connection to the ninja world's ancient roots. It positions him as a near-mythical figure, capable of bending life and death to his will, much like the original sage. The title also ties to Pain's belief that inflicting and understanding pain through the Six Paths can lead humanity to peace, echoing Hagoromo's legacy of shaping the world. Still, it highlights his detachment, as he fragments himself across multiple bodies to pursue this vision. Konan, God's Angel. Konan's title, God's Angel, originates from her unwavering loyalty to Pain, Nagato, whom the people of the Rain Village revered as a god, and her role as his ethereal enforcer. Raised as an orphan alongside Nagato and Yahiko in the war-torn hidden Rain Village, Konan developed her unique paper-based ninjutsu under Jiraiya's guidance, transforming sheets of paper into weapons or explosives. When she hovered in the air with her paper wings, she truly resembled an angel, an image that led the people of Omegakura to believe she was the divine messenger of Pain. God's Angel captures Konan's dual essence as both a divine protector and a harbinger of judgment. The god aspect ties her to Pain, symbolizing her devotion to his dream of peace through Pain, acting as his right hand and messenger. Angel reflects her elegance and otherworldly combat style. Her ability to float with paper wings or strike with silent precision evokes a celestial being. This title underscores her role in the Akatsuki and the Rain Village, where she serves as a guardian of Nagato's ideals, willing to sacrifice herself to shield him, as seen in her explosive final stand against Obito. She displayed her true strength by unleashing the paper ocean, Kami no Shisha no Jutsu, creating a massive sea of 600 billion explosive tags, an attack powerful enough to force Obito to use Izanagi just to survive. Sasori, Scorpion of the Red Sand. Sasori's title, Scorpion of the Red Sand, originates from his distinctive traits and his deep ties to the hidden sand village, where he was born and raised. The red sand refers to his striking red hair, a rare feature in the desert village, and his legacy as a shinobi of its sandy terrain. Red sand also came from the bloody battles Sasori had fought in. In the past, he used his deadly puppets to slaughter enemies, staining the white sand red with their blood. The scorpion aspect draws from his personal puppet, a scorpion-like creation he used as his signature weapon, as well as his venomous, elusive nature. After defecting from the village and joining the Akatsuki, Sasori's reputation grew through feats like assassinating the third Kazekage, whose body he turned into one of his deadliest puppets, reinforcing this moniker with his lethal precision and sting-like attacks. Scorpion of the Red Sand embodies Sasori's dangerous elegance and his connection to his homeland's harsh environment. Like a scorpion, he strikes with calculated ferocity. His puppets, laced with poison and hidden blades, mirror the creature's deadly tail. Genius Modeling Specialist of the Puppet Brigade. Sasori's title, Genius Modeling Specialist of the Puppet Brigade, stems from his unparalleled mastery of puppetry, a craft he elevated to an art form within the Hidden Sand Village. Sasori transformed the traditional puppet techniques taught by his grandmother, Chiyo, into a deadly and intricate discipline. The genius aspect highlights his inventive mind, capable of turning lifeless corpses into sophisticated killing machines, a feat unmatched in the ninja world. Modeling Specialist underscores his craftsmanship. Each puppet is a unique masterpiece, sculpted with care to preserve its strength and abilities, embodying his belief that art should be eternal. He created the Puppet Brigade, a collection of human puppets crafted from the bodies of defeated enemies, including the third Kazekage, designed and rigged with weapons, traps, and poisons. Puppet Brigade also refers to his personal arsenal, a testament to his strategic dominance, as he commands these creations like a one-man army. His genius shone through in battles like his ambush of Sakura and Chiyo, where he deployed an army of over 100 puppets with precision, showcasing his ability to model and control them as extensions of himself. Itachi. Once-in-a-century genius. The title once-in-a-century genius stems from Itachi's innate talent and extraordinary development from a very young age. Born into the Uchiha clan, renowned for their Sharingan and fire-style ninjutsu, Itachi quickly surpassed his peers. He graduated from the Ninja Academy at age 7, awakened his Sharingan at 8, and became a Chunin at 10, milestones that even elite ninja rarely achieve. Later, he joined the Anbu, the Leaf Village's special forces, and was appointed captain at just 13, showcasing his exceptional combat skills, intelligence, and strategic acumen. This title was given to Itachi by the third Hokage, Sarutobi. In a flashback, Itachi's father, Uchiha Fugaku, was astonished when young Itachi independently analyzed and resolved complex tactical scenarios without guidance, something even seasoned clan members struggled with. This title also placed immense pressure on Itachi. He was expected to represent the clan while navigating the growing tensions between the Uchiha and the Leaf Village. The Clan Killer. The Clan Killer originates from the infamous night when Itachi, at the age of 13, single-handedly massacred the entire Uchiha clan under secret orders from the Leaf Village's leadership. Tasked by the third Hokage and Danzo to prevent a coup that the Uchiha were plotting against the village, Itachi wielded his exceptional skills, honed as an Anbu captain, and his newly awakened Mangekyou Sharingan to eliminate his family, including his parents, Fugaku and Makoto. He spared only his younger brother, Sasuke, before fleeing the village as a rogue ninja. This act of slaughter, executed with cold precision and later amplified by his alliance with Obito, branded him with this grim moniker across the ninja world. Clan Killer Itachi encapsulates the devastating act that defined Itachi's life and his public persona as a traitor. The title emphasizes his role as the executioner of his own bloodline, a deed that showcases both his unparalleled prowess and his willingness to bear an unimaginable burden for the sake of peace. It paints him as a figure of fear and infamy, a ninja capable of annihilating one of the Leaf Village's most powerful clans in a single night. Beneath the surface, it hides the truth of his sacrifice, undertaken to protect the village and Sasuke from a brewing civil war. However, this title also became the source of Itachi's isolation and suffering. He lived as an outcast, bearing infamy to secure the village's peace and his brother's future. The Shadow Hero. The title Shadow Hero was not publicly acknowledged during Itachi's lifetime, but was revealed after his death through accounts from Obito and the third Hokage to Naruto and Sasuke. The truth behind the Uchiha massacre showed that Itachi acted not out of hatred or ambition, but out of necessity, choosing between his clan and the village he cherished. By eliminating the Uchiha to avert civil war, Itachi protected the Leaf Village from destruction. He then infiltrated the Akatsuki to monitor the organization from within, continuing to serve as a covert agent for the village until his final breath. In his final battle with Sasuke, Itachi deliberately lost and used his last strength to seal Orochimaru within Sasuke, protecting his brother from a lingering threat while smiling as he died. A moment that revealed his love and sacrifice. Shadow Hero captures Itachi's true essence, a selfless protector willing to endure pain, misunderstanding, and death to safeguard what he valued most. It acknowledges his role in preserving peace and honors his unspoken sacrifices. This title stands in stark contrast to Traitor Ninja, illuminating Itachi's tragedy, a forgotten hero who lived and died in the shadows so others could thrive in the light. It also reflects his philosophy. True peace requires personal sacrifice, not public glory. Kisame, Monster of the Hidden Mist. Kisame earned the title Monster of the Hidden Mist through his terrifying reputation and brutal deeds as a ninja from the Hidden Mist village, Kirigakure. This village was notorious for its harsh policies and violent history, producing some of the deadliest shinobi. Kisame stood out with his shark-like traits, blue skin, sharp teeth, and gill-like markings, paired with his savage combat style. He once killed his own teammates to protect sensitive information, showcasing his ruthless loyalty to the village's merciless code. Monster of the Hidden Mist captures Kisame's physical and psychological menace. His appearance alone inspires dread, but his readiness to embrace violence and betrayal truly marks him as a monster. The title also reflects his detachment from human qualities, as he often sees himself as a beast or a tool of destruction rather than a person. Tailless Tailed Beast. The nickname Tailless Tailed Beast highlights Kisame's extraordinary chakra reserves and fighting ability, which rival those of a tailed beast, massive chakra entities sealed within Jinchuriki hosts. Unlike Jinchuriki, who rely on their tailed beasts for power, Kisame's immense chakra is entirely his own, a natural trait. His weapon, Samihara, a sentient sword that consumes chakra, enhances this by draining energy from his opponents, amplifying his already formidable strength. A key example is his fight with Killer B, a Jinchuriki, where B noted that Kisame's chakra levels felt like facing another tailed beast. Tailed beast without a tail underscores Kisame's unique position as a human with near mythical power, akin to the tailed beasts feared for their destructive might. It distinguishes him from typical ninja, portraying him as a force of nature. This title also ties to his Akatsuki role, hunting Jinchuriki, making him a predator of the very beings he mirrors in strength. Hidan, Immortal Bloodthirsty Killer. Hidan's nickname, Immortal Bloodthirsty Killer, arises from his relentless pursuit of violence and his extraordinary ability to survive any attack, traits that define his existence. As a devoted follower of Jashin, a sinister deity, Hidan conducts horrific rituals, sacrificing his victims' blood to secure his own eternal life. This immortality frees him to kill without fear, as no wound, however severe, can end him. His brutal execution of Asuma Sarutobi, where he delighted in his foe's suffering, and even survived decapitation, cemented his reputation as a merciless and unkillable force. His unwavering faith in Jashin, combined with his love for bloodshed and combat, has spread this chilling title across the ninja world. The nickname Immortal Bloodthirsty Killer perfectly captures Hidan's identity as an unstoppable murderer and a terrifying presence. Immortal highlights his unparalleled ability to endure any injury, rendering him a near-invincible opponent. Bloodthirsty reveals his ferocious nature and unquenchable desire for violence, fueled by his devotion to Jashin's doctrine of slaughter. As a killer, he fulfills his role in the Akatsuki with ruthless precision, employing his cursed techniques, linking his body to his victims to share deadly wounds in nightmarish ways. This title reflects not just his skills, but his warped psyche, establishing him as one of the Akatsuki's most unpredictable and fearsome members. The fusion of immortality and bloodlust makes Hidan a living nightmare. Kakuzu Bounty Hunter. Kakuzu's title Bounty Hunter originates from his obsession with wealth and his relentless pursuit of high-value targets across the ninja world. A rogue ninja from Takigakure, the hidden waterfall village, Kakuzu turned to a life of mercenary work after betraying his village. His greed drove him to hunt down individuals with substantial bounties, collecting their rewards to amass a fortune. His unique ability to steal and integrate the hearts of his victims, gaining their elemental affinities, made him a formidable predator. For instance, he once tracked and killed a high-ranking ninja solely for the payout, showcasing his cold, transactional approach to violence. This reputation grew stronger after joining the Akatsuki, where he managed the organization's finances and continued his bounty hunting pursuits on the side. Bounty Hunter defines Kakuzu's pragmatic and ruthless nature, setting him apart as a shinobi motivated by profit rather than ideology or loyalty. The title reflects his methodical approach to combat. He assesses his opponents not just as threats, but as potential paychecks, viewing their lives in terms of monetary value. Zetsu Chatterbox. Zetsu's title Chatterbox stems from the constant interplay between his two distinct personalities, Black Zetsu and White Zetsu, which manifest as a split body with contrasting voices. A creation of Kaguya Otsutsuki's will, Zetsu serves as her agent, but his dual nature gives rise to an almost ceaseless dialogue within himself. White Zetsu's playful, talkative demeanor often fills the silence with sarcastic quips or curious observations, while Black Zetsu's deeper, more calculating tone counters with sharp remarks or cryptic plans. This internal chatter became evident during his covert operations for the Akatsuki, such as when he spied on battles or relayed intelligence, often muttering to himself as he merged with the earth or plants. For instance, while observing the fight between Sasuke and Itachi, White Zetsu couldn't resist commenting on the action, earning him a reputation as a loquacious lurker among those few who noticed his presence. Chatterbox captures Zetsu's unique duality and his tendency to vocalize his thoughts, whether for amusement, strategy, or manipulation. Unlike the stoic silence of many Akatsuki members, Zetsu's split persona makes him a walking conversation, blending humor and menace in equal measure. The nickname highlights his role as the group's spy and communicator. His chatter isn't just idle talk, but a tool for gathering and sharing critical information across vast distances. It also reflects his deceptive nature. White Zetsu's babbling disarms foes, masking the sinister intent of Black Zetsu. Orochimaru, Legendary Sanin. Orochimaru's title, Legendary Sanin, originates from his recognition as one of the 3 exceptional ninja trained by Hiruzen Sarutobe, the 3rd Hokage, alongside Jiraiya and Tsunade. The term Sanin, 3 ninja, was bestowed upon them by Hanzo of the Rain Village during the Second Great Ninja War, when they survived a battle against him, an unprecedented feat that earned them fame across the nations. Orochimaru's contribution to this legend was his prodigious talent and unorthodox approach, mastering countless forbidden jutsu and displaying a chilling intellect even then. For instance, his early experiments with immortality, like transferring his soul into new bodies, began to take shape during this period, setting him apart as a figure both admired and feared.
Wicked Eye Fugaku. This name alone could make shinobi from other nations freeze up. It belongs to Fugaku Uchiha, the legendary leader of the Uchiha clan, and the father of Itachi and Sasuke. This title wasn't something he gave himself. It was born on the battlefield. During the Third Great Ninja War, Fugaku fought as one of the Uchiha warriors, and the enemies who faced him were the ones who started calling him Wicked Eye. They saw his terrifying power firsthand, and the name spread like wildfire across the front lines, a warning to anyone dumb enough to face him. So, what does Wicked Eye really mean? Straight up, it refers to his Sharingan, those deadly eyes that can see chakra, predict every move, and trap opponents in genjutsu with just a single glare. In the anime, Fugaku awakened his Mangekyou Sharingan after the death of his best friend. His eyes were so powerful, they could even control the Nine Tails. But this title isn't just about scary eyes. It stands for something bigger, the gap between a genius and everyone else. Fugaku was considered on the same level as Minato Namikaze and the legendary Sanin, even seen as a real candidate for the fourth Hokage. That's how strong he was. Even Itachi, his genius son, once admitted he never wanted to fight his father. Wicked Eye wasn't just a fancy nickname, it was a statement, because when you're the head of the Uchiha clan, you don't get that title by being weak. The Professor. This title belongs to Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage of Konohagakure. This title is unique in the Naruto world because it's more about brains than brawls. Unlike other titles earned from battles or epic feats, the Professor was earned through pure respect from both Konoha and the shinobi world. The reason is that Hiruzen had mastered every single ninjutsu technique that ever existed in Konoha. Sounds crazy, but it's officially recorded. He knew all combat forms, all skill sets, even hidden techniques, the secret techniques reserved only for specific clans. Basically, Hiruzen could look at someone's hand seals and instantly know which jutsu they were about to pull off, and then counter it perfectly. Even when facing the truth-seeking ball, something he had never seen before, a quick observation was enough for him to break down its core attributes. This was the mind of a true scholar, analyzing, calculating, predicting. Strength was just a bonus. His real weapon was unmatched intellect, and that's why the title, The Professor, fits so damn perfectly. Demon of the Hidden Mist. Demon of the Hidden Mist. That's Zabuza Momochi, one of the deadliest assassins ever to come out of Kirigakure. This was the first demon that Naruto and Team 7 ever faced, and it immediately set the bar for what a real demon looks like. To understand this title, you gotta rewind to the darkest era of Kirigakure's history. Before Yagura became Mizukage, the Mist Village ran a brutally insane graduation test. Academy students had to fight to the death just to prove they were worthy of becoming ninja. That's how Kirigakure forged its strongest warriors, especially the candidates for the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist. Then, Zabuza shows up. The terrifying part is that he wasn't even an academy student yet. He broke into the final exam and slaughtered over 100 students in one night. Over 100 lives. All kids training to be ninja. The shock was so massive that Kirigakure had to completely scrap the deathmatch system. From that day on, Zabuza was crowned the Demon of the Hidden Mist. He could kill without hesitation, without emotion, like a true demon. His fearsome reputation only grew when he joined Anbu, eventually becoming one of the 7 ninja swordsmen, wielding the infamous decapitating carving knife. Tailless Tailed Beast. Tailless Tailed Beast. That's Kisame Hoshigaki, member of Akatsuki and Itachi Uchiha's partner. This title is one of the rarest in the Naruto world because it literally compares a human to a tailed beast, the most powerful creatures in the entire universe. This title came from Kisame's insane chakra reserves. Not just a normal, strong ninja kind of large, we're talking ridiculous levels. To put it in perspective, just 30% of Kisame's chakra made Neji say he had never seen anyone with that much chakra, except Naruto, who carries the 9 tails. 30%, bro. Imagine a regular human with that much energy. That's Kisame. But the title also nods to his fusion with his sword, Samehada. Samehada isn't a normal sword, it's a living creature that eats chakra. When Kisame wields it, he can drain an opponent's chakra and turn it into his own power. That makes him a nightmare enemy. The longer the fight goes, the stronger he gets, while his opponent just fades away. Even sealing techniques or paralyzing moves can backfire thanks to his chakra-draining powers. So why Tailless? Because Kisame doesn't need to be a Jinchuriki or have a tailed beast inside to reach this insane level. He was born with it. Raw, innate power. That's the essence of the tailless tailed beast. Shisui of the Body Flicker. Shisui of the Body Flicker. That title belongs to Shisui Uchiha, one of the rarest geniuses of the Uchiha clan and Itachi's closest friend. This name screams speed and mysterious appearances so fast that enemies literally can't track him. Shisui earned this title when he was just a genin, the lowest rank in the ninja system. Sounds wild, right? Most legendary titles go to seasoned ninjas with years of battle experience and countless accomplishments. But Shisui, he stood out from the start, back when Konoha was in chaos after the 4th Hokage died and the legendary sanin had left the village. So what's the body flicker technique that makes this title so insane? Basically, it's a jutsu that lets a ninja move extremely fast over short distances. Most ninjas can do it, but Shisui took it to a whole new level. While others use body flicker just to zip from point A to point B, Shisui turned it into a combat weapon. He could spam it non-stop, creating dozens of afterimages at once, leaving opponents completely unable to tell what's real. Picture this. You're in a fight, and every time you blink, he's already in a totally new spot. You strike forward, but he's behind you. You try to track his movement, but all you see are overlapping shadows. That's what it's like facing Shisui of the Body Flicker. In some ways, he can even be compared to the yellow flash of Konoha, Minato. Hanzo of the Salamander. Hanzo of the Salamander. That's Hanzo, leader of Amegakure, and once considered the strongest ninja of his era. This name is tied to pure fear. Just breathing the same air as Hanzo could kill you. When he was a kid, Hanzo had poison sacs from a giant black salamander implanted into his body. This beast lived in his village, and after it died, its most deadly venom-producing organs were surgically implanted into Hanzo's stomach. You can still see the scar on the left side of his belly, a mark of this brutal surgery. This wasn't just about making Hanzo resistant to poison, it totally rewired his body's chemistry. Hanzo became a living poison. Everything about him, breath, sweat, blood, carried lethal toxins. And this wasn't normal poison. Victims didn't just die instantly. Inhaling Hanzo's breath caused horrific pain that spread through the body, paralyzing them, destroying the brain, and finally killing them within 2 days. 2 days of absolute hell before death set them free. Hanzo can't turn it off. He was born with this poison, lives with it, and even breathing normally would kill anyone around him. That's why he always wears a respirator mask and carries antidotes, to avoid turning everyone nearby into corpses. The title Hanzo of the Salamander came from this primeval fear. His enemies didn't worry about kunai or jutsu. They had to worry whether the air they were breathing could be their last. Non-person. Non-person, that's Mu, the second Tsuchikage of Iwagakure. This title is the scariest in ninja history, and not because of insane destructive power or crazy speed. It's terrifying for a different reason. The complete absence of presence. The name comes from a crazy unique technique that Mu had perfected. By combining earth release with water release, he could make his body light enough to float and simultaneously vanish completely. In the Naruto world, even a perfect visual stealth ninja can be tracked through chakra. Sensor-type ninja can detect chakra flows from kilometers away. But with Mu, there's nothing to detect. No physical form, no chakra signature, no sound, no smell. He became the non-person, someone who doesn't exist. You cannot see him, cannot hear him, cannot sense him through chakra, and not even high-tech devices can detect him. Mu could stand right in front of you, even touch you, and you would have no idea he's there. Fighting the non-person is like fighting a ghost you can't even confirm exists until it's way too late. Konoha's Slug Princess. Konoha's Slug Princess? That title belongs to Tsunade Senju, one of the legendary sanin and later the 5th Hokage of Konoha. This name screams a mix of royal blood, top-tier medical skills, and a one-of-a-kind summon. The title was actually given by a formidable rival, Chiyo of Tsunagakure. That's mad respect from a poison master to a medical genius. Chiyo created some of the deadliest poisons in the ninja world and used them widely during the Second Great Ninja War. But Tsunade, she could make antidotes for any poison Chiyo ever thought up, no matter how complex or lethal. And she was the only one who could do it, until Sakura, her student, later matched her skills. The slug part comes from Katsuyu, Tsunade's summon. Katsuyu is a giant slug from the 3 great summons, on the same level as Jiraiya's Gamabunta and Orochimaru's Manda. But unlike them, Katsuyu isn't built for pure offense. She can split her body into thousands of pieces, sending them across the battlefield to create a massive healing network. Each fragment can channel Tsunade's chakra, meaning one Tsunade can literally save an entire army at once. The princess part? Tsunade is the granddaughter of the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju, founder of Konoha. She carries the royal bloodline of the legendary Senju clan, so princess is a nod to her heritage and status in Konoha history. Sasori of the Red Sand. This title belongs to Sasori, member of Akatsuki and a master of human puppetry. This name was born on blood-soaked battlefields, where the desert sand turned red from the blood of countless enemies. The title came from the Third Great Ninja War. Sasori used his puppets in battle with terrifying efficiency, and every fight ended like a nightmare, desert sand shifting from golden to deep red with blood. He once wiped an entire small country off the map, leaving the land as a sea of blood. That's why he's called Sasori of the Red Sand. Wherever Sasori shows up, the sand turns red. The Darkness of the Shinobi. This title belongs to Danzo Shimura. It was publicly called out by the 4th Raikage during the Kage Summit. This title didn't come from a single battle or flashy achievement. It came from decades of working in the shadows. Danzo was the head of Root, Konoha's secret off-the-books organization, doing things that the official government couldn't or wouldn't dare. He carried out countless illegal operations, manipulations, sabotage, and even assassinations against Konoha citizens he saw as threats to the village. Everyone suspected him. Some even knew he was behind dark events, but hard evidence was almost impossible to get. It wasn't until Ao used his Byakugan to expose Danzo manipulating Mifune with Koto Amatsukami that he was finally fully unmasked. This title screams stealth, manipulation, and untouchable shadow power. Danzo didn't need brute strength to be feared. He was the darkness everyone knew existed but couldn't confront. The Last Uchiha. The Last Uchiha? That title belongs to Sasuke Uchiha, the only survivor of the Uchiha clan massacre. This name carries the heaviest tragedy in Konoha's history, and the enormous burden Sasuke had to bear for a long time. The title was born on the darkest night in Konoha history, when Itachi Uchiha slaughtered the entire clan, leaving only his younger brother Sasuke. In just one night, the legendary Uchiha clan, one of the strongest and oldest clans, was completely wiped out. Sasuke became the last Uchiha, the final bearer of their bloodline. Technically, the title isn't 100% literal. Itachi and Obito were still alive, hiding in the shadows. If we were being literal, the last Kaguya for Kimimaro would be more accurate. But the last Uchiha carries a totally different weight. It's not about being the last Uchiha alive. It's about being the one who carries the clan's legacy, honor, and all its pain. The Uchiha aren't just any clan. They're one of the 2 founding clans of Konoha, on par with the Senju. They wield the Sharingan, one of the strongest bloodline powers in the ninja world. They are descendants of Indra Otsutsuki, and one of the most powerful clans in shinobi history. So when people call Sasuke the last Uchiha, they're not just talking literal blood. They're talking about a symbol, an event, a legendary vibe far beyond the literal meaning. Progenitor of Chakra. Progenitor of Chakra. That title belongs to Kaguya Otsutsuki, the first woman to ever possess chakra on Earth. This is a recognition of the origin of all power in the Naruto world. To get this title, you gotta rewind to a time before chakra even existed on Earth. Kaguya came from the Otsutsuki clan, aliens who travel between worlds to harvest energy from god trees. When she landed on Earth, Kaguya ate the fruit of the god tree and became the first human to wield chakra. She then gave birth to 2 kids, Hagoromo and Hamura, the first humans born with chakra. Hagoromo later became Rikudo Sennin, spreading chakra to humanity and creating the first generation of ninja. So calling Kaguya progenitor of chakra is literally saying she's the absolute origin. Every jutsu, every Kekkei Genkai, every power in the Naruto world traces back to her. Uchiha's Sharingan, Hyuga's Byakugan, Nagato's Rinnegan, all variants of the primal power Kaguya brought. That's why this title isn't just about raw strength, it's about her place as the mother of the entire ninja civilization. She is just the source of everything. Second Coming of the Demon. Second Coming of the Demon. That title belongs to the Hozuki brothers. It's all about carrying on the legacy of Zabuza Momochi, the demon of the hidden mist, proving that Zabuza's cold-blooded nature still flows in the new generation of Kirigakure. The title originally went to Mangekyou Hozuki, the older brother with insane sword skills. Mangekyou didn't just master one sword, he wielded all 7 legendary swords of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist. Combined with his top-tier combat skills, he was recognized as the perfect successor to Zabuza's spirit. When Mangekyou passed away, the title was passed to his younger brother Suigetsu. So why does Suigetsu deserve it? Kisame, another member of the 7 swordsmen, described him as a cute, playful kid, but in battle, he becomes shockingly ruthless. His fighting style is savage. He cripples enemies' limbs first, often breaking them, then finishes them off by beheading. This brutality reminded Kisame of Zabuza, the legendary sword wielder and demon of the mist. Later on, Suigetsu even wields Kubikiri Bocho, the legendary sword once used by Zabuza. The title Second Coming of the Demon is about spirit, cold, ruthless, and brutally effective at taking lives, perfectly carrying on Zabuza's legacy. Jugo of the Scales. Jugo of the Scales. That title belongs to Jugo, a member of Team Taka and the source of the Cursed Seal. To get why this title exists, you gotta understand natural energy and how it messes with Jugo. His body has a special inherited trait that lets him absorb natural energy from his environment passively. Sounds awesome, right? But here's the catch. Jugo can't control how much energy he takes in. When it builds up too much, it completely flips his personality. So why scales? It's all about a balance scale, symbolizing the delicate balance between 2 extremes. At low natural energy, Jugo is shy, gentle, even chatting with birds like Snow White. He loves animals, peace, and does everything at his own slow, calm pace. But when his natural energy spikes past control, the scale tips hard the other way. Jugo becomes a raging, insane killer, loving violence so much that he decides his next victim like flipping a coin, man or woman. He once lost it completely, destroyed a whole village, and killed every single resident. He's called Jugo of the Scales because nobody can predict which side of the scale will win. Jugo doesn't choose who he is. The energy inside him decides for him, making him both dangerously unpredictable and insanely powerful. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.